Welcome back to TechVibe. For nearly 5 years, the Nikon Z7 II has been the undisputed king of landscape and studio photography for the Nikon faithful. But as we move deeper into 2025, a massive question remains: where is the successor? The Nikon Z8 and Z9 have stolen the headlines with their speed, but for those of us who prioritize raw image quality and portability over blazing frame rates, the wait for the Nikon Z7 III has been agonizing. Today, the wait for information is over. We have compiled every credible leak, sensor specification, and internal rumor to give you the most complete look at the camera that is set to redefine high-resolution mirrorless photography. If you're considering an upgrade, don't move a muscle. This is the only Z7 III breakdown you need to see. For the longest time, the Nikon Z7 series stood for one thing: pure, unadulterated resolution. It was the digital successor to the legendary D850. But in today's market, megapixels aren't enough. We need speed, we need reliable autofocus, and we need video features that don't compromise. The Z7 II, while still a capable tool, is starting to show its age, particularly in its autofocus tracking and its processing speed. This is where the Z7 III enters the frame. The biggest point of contention among insiders right now is the sensor. There are two very credible paths Nikon could take. The first is a refinement of the 45.7 megapixel sensor we've seen in the Z8 and Z9. However, instead of being a fully stacked sensor, which drives up the price and power consumption, the Z7 III is rumored to utilize a partially stacked architecture, similar to what we recently saw in the Z6 III. This would allow for significantly faster readout speeds than the current Z7 II, virtually eliminating rolling shutter while keeping the body compact and the price competitive. But there's a second, even more exciting rumor: the jump to 61 or even 67 megapixels. Nikon knows that Sony's A7 R series is its primary competition in the high-res space. To beat the A7 RV, Nikon might be looking to push the boundaries of the FX format sensor. A 60-plus megapixel sensor would give landscape photographers that extra croppability they crave, allowing for massive gallery prints and the ability to punch into DX mode while still retaining over 26 megapixels of detail. Which would you prefer? A faster 45 megapixel sensor or a slower, ultra-high-res 60 megapixel monster? Let us know in the comments, because this choice will define the Z7 III's legacy. Regardless of the pixel count, the brain of this camera is confirmed to be the Expeed 7 processor. This is a massive generational leap. By moving to Expeed 7, the Z7 III will finally inherit the flagship-level subject detection and 3D tracking found in the Z9. We're talking about dedicated AI algorithms that can recognize people, animals, birds, vehicles, and even airplanes with surgical precision. For the studio photographer shooting high fashion or the wedding pro working in chaotic environments, this AF upgrade alone justifies the upgrade from the Z7 II. Now, let's talk about the build and ergonomics. One of the most common complaints about the Z8 is its size. It's a mini Z9, but for many travel and landscape photographers, it's still too bulky. The Z7 III is expected to maintain the slimmer, more portable form factor of the Z6 and Z7 line, but with a critical upgrade: the 4-axis tilting screen. Borrowed from the Z8, this screen allows for high and low-angle shooting in both landscape and portrait orientations without the fragility of a fully articulating side flip screen. It's the professional's choice for a reason. Internally, we are also looking at a significant boost in stabilization. Rumors point to an 8-stop in-body image stabilization system. When paired with the latest S-line VR lenses, this would allow for handheld long exposures that were previously unthinkable. Imagine shooting a waterfall at half a second, handheld, and getting a tack-sharp image. That is the level of performance Nikon is aiming for. For the hybrid shooters, the video specs are where things get truly interesting. While the Z7 series has always been stills first, Nikon can no longer ignore the demand for high-end video. The Z7 III is rumored to support internal 8K recording at 30 or even 60 frames per second. But the real headline is the inclusion of NRAW and ProRes RAW internally. This would make the Z7 III a viable B-cam to a Z9 or even a primary CIN. A tool for creators who need that high-resolution look. We're also expecting 4K oversampled from 8K, providing some of the cleanest, most detailed video footage ever seen in a camera of this size. Storage is another area where we expect a change. While the Z7 II featured one CF Express Type B and one SD slot, there is a strong possibility the Z7 III will move to dual CF Express Type B slots to handle the massive data throughput of high-res RAW bursts and 8K video. This might be a point of friction for those with a large collection of SD cards, but for professional reliability, it's a necessary move. One hidden feature we are keeping an eye on is the pixel shift multi-shot mode. While the ZF and Z6 III have it, the Z7 II was left in the dark. The Z7 III will almost certainly include an advanced version of this, allowing you to combine multiple exposures into a single 180 or 200 megapixel file. For architectural photographers and archivists, this makes the Z7 III a medium format killer. Price and availability are the final pieces of the puzzle. Historical data and current market trends suggest a launch price of approximately $2,999 to $3,299. This positions it perfectly between the $2,500 Z6 III and the $3,900 Z8. As for the date, keep your calendars marked for the final quarter of 2025. Nikon typically likes to announce these high-end bodies in late summer or autumn to capture the holiday professional buying cycle. The Nikon Z7 III is shaping up to be the ultimate refinement of the Z-mount system. It's a camera that doesn't try to be a sports flagship, but instead focuses on being the best possible tool for the artist. But I want to hear from you. Does the Z7 III do enough to keep you from switching to Sony or Canon? Or is the Z8 already the perfect camera for your needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read every single one. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to TechVibe for more deep dives into the gear that powers your creativity. I'll see you in the next one.